What's up, everyone? Tera Roberts and Howard Bender here for your Thursday night pregame show for Fantasy Alarm for Week 14. I cannot believe it is Week 14 already. Tonight's game is between the Las Vegas Raiders and the LA Rams. We are taking your questions live in the Fantasy Alarm Discord, so go ahead and jump in there right now. Get your questions in. Go ahead, because we will be answering them throughout the show as we cover tonight's game in the live stream Q&A section. That is where you should put the questions. Get your start sit questions. If you have any more trade questions, I think a lot of people are on their final week of trade deadline, so get those in there. Rest of season questions, DFS questions, all of that good stuff in the live stream Q&A section. All right, let's start this off right, Howard. First of all, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing very, very well. I want to give a quick mention and shout out. If you guys have a SiriusXM subscription and you have that SiriusXM app, go back and listen to yesterday's show with me and Tara. Full 2 hours on SiriusXM, from love letters to Flusher Crush to the Wheel of Randomness. It was an absolute fantastic show, and Tara, you were spectacular. Your love letter was moving, like it was heartwarming and moving all at the same time. I'm not going to tell you guys who she wrote to. You'll just have to go back and you're going to have to listen. But I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. Yeah, there's a lot of weirdness going on. Like this game tonight, there's weirdness going on. Quarterback situations all over the place this week are a huge mess. So, yeah, I don't know. Where do you want to start?
Oh, man. So I guess the easiest place, you mentioned quarterbacks too. So let's start off at quarterbacks before I lose that track. Streaming quarterback options, because we are bone dry. You can't even get Jared Goff anymore. He's gone. Like, if you didn't grab him, that's it. You're done. So you're having to go down there and find guys that are in the teens roster, because that's how bad it is right now, unfortunately, with all these quarterbacks on bye week and all the injuries. Even Trevor Lawrence is popping up. I didn't think it was that serious, but apparently it must be, since he is missing all this practice. I mean, we'll dive into all of the injuries, of course.
Well, he said he was going to play, though. He said, he promised.
He told us. And I don't find him to be a liar. So
that Trevor, he a liar.
He better show up, because I had plans for my DFS lineups. But I love the Jags this week. Come on, what a fantastic matchup. Yeah, but streaming quarterback options. I mean, who are some guys that you like? I mean, are you willing to? So let's say that you need one more win to get into the playoffs. Are you going with a safe option like Ryan Tannehill, or are you getting risky with a Tyler Huntley? You got to get a win.
I mean, listen, if Ryan Tannehill's there, I mean, I know he's got an ankle issue, and apparently it was a sprained ankle, then he rolled the other ankle. I mean, seriously, like watching Ryan Tannehill at times is like watching a baby giraffe, like finally getting, like learning to walk and stand up on its own feet. So, but listen, I'll tell you what, I'll use him. Absolutely. I mean, it's just veteran guy, it's a supportive ground game. And even in a run first offense, if Tannehill, like if I'm looking for, because if I'm streaming a quarterback, what I'm looking for usually 250 and 2. Give me 250 and 2. You want to throw a pick in there? Go ahead. I'll forgive it. But 250 and 2 is really kind of what I'm looking for. It's a nice little baseline number. You're not getting killed by it, but he's not dazzling anybody. And that's, kind of what you're looking for when you're replacing, a Jimmy Garoppolo or a Lamar Jackson. I mean, Tyler Huntley's got the rushing upside. So we can look to that and say, well, I mean, this is a running quarterback's game now, and we should probably invest in that. I'm okay with using Tyler Huntley. I would still just, obviously you prefer to stick with a guy who's actually starting. Ryan Tannehill is starting, and there's no, there's no, other way about it. And it's a great matchup against Jacksonville. It really is. So I think that this is probably where I want to live. Listen, I am not in the Mike White business. I think we talked about it. We're Knight Riders. We are all in on Zonovan Knight. so far out on Mike White. I can't trust
Oh
him.
man.
I can't trust him. And who Brock Purdy. I would probably I don't even know if I can trust Brock Purdy here, but I would probably say that I might even look to Brock Purdy before I look at Mike White. I know
So what about Mac Jones?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Arizona's defense is a little on the underrated side, but
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't hate on Mac. All right, so Ryan Tannehill first, Tyler
Mm-hmm.
Huntley, then I'll say
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones, Mike White. Um, who else did I have in
Who's
there?
the third one? Purdy.
Purdy. I'll do that. And you know what? And I'll do all of them before Russell Wilson.
Yeah, me too. I'm out on that.
Is that not the
Let me tell you.
saddest commentary right now?
Let me tell you how out on Russell Wilson I have been. So I've got him. He's my QB1 in a dynasty league. I've been so out that this man in a super flex league has not been in a starting lineup for me in a solid 2 months. Like I just rolled straight out and was like, no, you know what?
Who's your QB?
I'm
Wait, who's your
good.
QB? Because I've done this
Gino.
too.
I lucked out with Gino winning that starting job. That was so like, yeah, I was like, that's why I hold on. That's why you hold on to those bench guys. You're waiting for that moment.
That is
So I shined in my Geno Smith moment.
That's exactly the move that I did also in the league where I had like Russell Wilson. I was like, I got to replace with somebody, and I did it quick enough with Geno Smith,
Yep.
and it turned out to work for us. So it's so funny, Russell Wilson.
Wild. Yeah, no, we're so far out. You're right. I just got on the list of people I am so willing to start over him. It's not even close.
It's so funny. It's funny and sad all at the same time.
It is.
I mean, you know what? At least
Oh.
it's not Baker Mayfield.
That's true. That's gosh. So yeah, our Thursday night game here, we could see Baker Mayfield starting at quarterback for the LA Rams tonight. Like tonight, he just got into LA. Like he just landed. Like, hey, how are you guys doing? And he doesn't know any of those guys. Who on this team that is active could he possibly have any sort of relationship with?
I don't know. Are there any ex-Browns?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna sneak a peek here and just kind of. I'm just gonna kind of glance at it, right? You're hoping. You're like, oh wait, is this the team that had Rashard Higgins?
Was somebody, yep. Not a soul.
It's not.
Wild. No one. I mean, it's tough because I feel mildly okay about Cam Akers if Wolford is at quarterback, just because he at least I don't have faith in Wolford to do anything from a fantasy perspective, but I know he can run the off. Like he knows the offense. So that's a positive thing that he can just keep the boat flowing while Akers can run. But if Baker Mayfield is in there, I don't know what to even make of this. Are you interested in any Ram?
All right. So for tonight, for DFS purposes, I said you could go a little contrarian with your captain seat and throw down a little Tyler Higbee. I was interested there because I think whether it's Wolford or Baker or even Bryce Perkins, that's the spot. Like that's a good spot to attack the Vegas Raiders on defense. They give up the fourth most fantasy points per game to the tight end position. They rank like real down in DVOA. I want to say 31st in DVOA, but that might just be their overall pass defense number for them. But I think that it's a good spot for Higbee. That intrigues me a little bit. Kyron Williams, I would say, because the Raiders have had problems, excuse me, with pass catching running backs. So I would say Tyler Higbee and Kyron Williams are the two that I have the most interest in, unless, of course, you want to include Matt Gay. Because if you want to include Matt Gay, he's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Then I'll go Higbee. I mean, I won't use Gay in you could use Matt Gay in your captain seat. You could get really weird and do that.
You could.
Matt Gay in your captain seat, you could probably get Devontae, Jacobs, Carr, and Moreau. I'll bet you could.
Yeah, I think I'm
gonna try it in a filthy, disgusting sort of way right now.
Do it, because I was messing with stuff, and I found it hard to get all three of them unless you jumped really got spicy there.
You know we like it
It's tough.
spicy.
Yeah, we do. We do. I'm with you on the Higby thing. I wish that Kyron Williams was a little bit priced down, and then I would feel a little bit more comfortable. But when I'm looking at Higby at 6,200 on DraftKings and Williams at 5,400 on DraftKings, I'm kind of like, huh, that is awful close right there. So if I'm prioritizing one, I do feel like it is Higby. If you had to captain, if you were not going different, well, we do like to get different, but if you were not going different and you had to do a captain position from one of the Raiders, which of the three are you going with?
Ooh. I would probably, I'm going to lean Davante Adams.
Yeah.
Listen, I love Jacobs, and I think that what he's been doing has been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, let's face it. So he's averaging like 27 carries per game over the last, just the three. Let's just take these last 3 weeks of like, like what has he been doing? Averaging 27 carries per game, over 450 rushing yards alone. Okay. I mean, and then, you throw in a little bit of that pass catching work that he has done. There's been, that middle game. I mean, it was crazy the work he was getting. So I love that, but that's a heavy workload with a guy who has a quad/calf thing going on a short week. Amir Abdullah's off the injury report. Zamir White is off the injury report, or never on, but whatever. Zamir White could be there. It's a game against a team that's kind of quitting on the world, and so I want to use Jacobs, but will I use him as my captain? No, because I do feel like they could blend in a couple of guys just to give him the little time off. Adams, I mean, listen, he's gone up against the Rams twice in the last, I think, 2 or 3 years. So, because I was trying to find like matchup numbers for him and Jalen Ramsey. And Adams has, against the Rams in the last 2 games, one was 2019, the other one I think was 2021. Over 100 yards in each game, no touchdown. But I'll take over 100 yards knowing it's Davante Adams and against what this team is. Like, Davante Adams is just like, you as a Packers fan. I mean, does this hurt you like physically? Does it like emotionally just destroy you to see him like this? Did you see the picture I posted of him with the Showdown write-up on Fantasy Alarm with him like holding the ball under his leg, just being all like, I'm the man.
I love Davante, so I want him. This is what made him happy. It's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go hang out with Derek Carr. Apparently, he's a cool guy. I can see that. So yes, I am happy for Davante. I was super, super sad until we had our little Christian Watson breakout, and I had to, kind of maybe eat my crow in terms of thinking, wow, I guess the organization maybe did make a decent draft pick. Shocking. But yeah, I'm with you. I think Davante is a really, really good option to put in there if you want to go with the most bang, not for the most buck, because it's literally the most buck on the slate, but the most bang that's going to happen in this game is definitely going to be from him. I find it funny that Baker Mayfield is more expensive than Wolford. That's hilarious.
I know, right? That's almost insulting. It's almost insulting. Yeah. All right, here you go. Let me ask you this one here, right? Since we're playing Showdown here. I got Matt Gay as the captain. Davante Adams, Josh Jacobs, Derek Carr. So it leaves me 8,600 for 2 spots. Now I could use Kyron Williams and still have 3,200 left, and that'll get me either Abdullah or Zamir White to kind of throw a dart in there, or I skip Kyron Williams and I go with the Raiders defense. And I
like the Raiders defense.
Right? And then I can go either Abdullah or Zamir White in there as well. Who do you like? Would you go Abdullah or Zamir White?
I would go Abdullah. Because he is the pass catching upside there. So I think that's the direction that you want to head. The one that I think is most likely to get you to 10 points, get you a little something there, Abdullah.
All right. I'm playing it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I like it.
Throwing it into a donkey contest.
I am a fan of that.
Take my money.
I'm gonna wait till the last second because if Wolford can play, my little value pick that I'm mildly interested in.
Oh my God! Wait, who is it?
It's Brandon Powell, but he's got to play too. He's gonna play.
Yeah, he was dealing with an illness,
injury contingent. So yeah, he's got the illness, and if Wolford can play, it looked like they had a little something going on there. It looked like they had a little connection.
It did look like
which makes sense. You know, when you get these second string guys, you got to look to, because that's what happened in Dallas when we saw Noah Brown pop off earlier in the season with Cooper Rush. These second string guys, who are they working with? Yeah. So I don't mind that one, but it is last minute.
What if Brandon Powell is out? Would you go Tutu Atwell?
Oh man,
he'll go back to returning kicks too.
That's true. We could have that. Oh man, that is spicy. I could go with that.
Get a second slice of ram in there.
Play, but yeah, I'm all right with that.
I tell you. I just don't know. If I take out the Raiders defense and Abdullah, I could probably get, or I could actually just swap out the Raiders defense for like Tutu Atwell or Kyron Williams, depending on who's, or Brandon Powell, I think, right?
True.
Do I have enough money for Brandon Powell?
Like 20-something or 2,000.
Oh yeah. 2000? Plenty of money for Brandon Powell.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
I like it.
Exciting.
Oh man, what a game! This is gonna be so interesting.
It's gonna be terrible. You know what? I took the Rams with the points, and I took the over. I'm like, well, because everybody on the Fantasy Alarm Show was taking the Raiders.
Yeah,
and I get it, right? The Raiders, they're coming in 3 games and 3 wins in a row. They look fantastic. They just all of a sudden it's like. Carr looks solid, efficient, high floor. Jacobs is a beast. Adams is amazing. Even Moreau kind of popped a little bit during this little 3-game streak. And the Rams, everybody were giving up on them. They're terrible. Blah blah blah. Like, wouldn't it surprise you to see the Rams play the Raiders as tough as they played the Seahawks? Seahawks defense not good. Neither is the Raiders.
Yeah.
Neither is the Raiders. I mean, obviously, if Baker Mayfield's under center, we could just kiss that goodbye, and you might as well just bet the Raiders. But I feel like if Wolford's okay, and I feel like if he plays, I feel like they can at least keep it. Not maybe not like crazy close, but like all of a sudden you're sitting there and at the end of the game and it's like 23-10 or 24-10, and nobody really cares about what's going on. And you get like that last second Rams touchdown, that meaningless garbage touchdown that kills the spread.
I think that makes sense.
Kind of where I'm at right now with it.
I don't hate it because it's not like the Raiders defense has been anything special. I think turnovers will happen for sure, and that's what can get them there in terms of points. But there could be a little something there at the end. So I agree with you on that one. Oh man, I'm looking at the injury report on fantasyalarm.com. It is very comprehensive. I was like, why make my own list here when I can just go right to the website and go right down with all this fantastic information. So I thought we could run through quickly some of these massive injuries that are going on. Obviously, we've got Lamar Jackson right here.
Who's he? Who's he play for? What team is he on?
A team that is very... very middling, right? Very middling.
Are they in the middle? Would you say bottom half?
They're just kind of there. Like, I feel confident, like, okay, playoffs, but is anything really going to happen? No. But Lamar is more than likely not going to play. He is expected to probably miss this game. So we are talking about Huntley is replacing him. Then we've got other quarterbacks. I mean, this is quite a list. Obviously, Tua Tagovailoa. We've got John Wolford that we talked about that we have to wait for. Trevor Lawrence that we wait for as well, who did say that he's playing. But I guess the Tua one is kind of kind of interesting there because I don't know if we have a lot of any true direction in terms of how he's playing, other than he should be good to go, right?
Tua should be good to go. Again, look what happens to us. I mean, the last report I saw was that he was trending towards playing, that he would be limited in practice, or he would like skip out on practice during the week, but that he was still going to end up playing. So, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater's out hurt, and they're definitely not going to go with Skylar Thompson. So I feel like we have to just remain confident that Tua is going to play. I mean, listen, it's a tough situation also because, I mean, no Terran Armstead, and Austin Jackson just went on the IR. So, losing both your tackles is definitely going to be a problem. So, maybe I'm not as bullish on Tua as I was, 4 or 5 weeks ago, but I mean, come on, it's still Jalen. Well, we'll see what Jalen Waddle's ankle's like, but you got Tyreek Hill. I feel like, I mean, they're going up against the Chargers this week. So, I feel like we saw nothing from Wilson and Mostert against San Francisco. And I feel like against the Chargers, we're going to see nothing but Wilson and Mostert as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at as far as Tua goes. You kind of have to play him in fantasy unless you have like a legit option. Well, I'll tell you what, here's the legit option. We'll say it tonight. Derek Carr. Would you start Derek Carr over Tua?
No, because their floors are what I feel like I'm going to get out of Derek Carr today is not much different than what I think Tua's floor is. Like, it's like 16-ish fantasy points. What's the massive difference there? So I'd roll with Tua.
I would as well. Not gonna lie.
Man. Running backs. We got quite a list. We've talked about Josh Jacobs. We've got Kenneth Walker. We've got Joe Mixon cleared concussion protocol. Yay. Welcome back. Yay. I know that makes you happy.
I've been dying without my bro Mixon. Dying.
Yes. We've got Michael Carter, Donta Foreman, Najee Harris has a injury, but I don't think that's really anything that we have to worry about. A couple other ones. Saquon Barkley popped up with a neck injury. That's never something that you want someone to pop up with randomly on the injury report.
No. And I mean, what are you going to do? Like, I mean, it's a late week thing. You're going to have to play him if he's active.
Mm-hmm.
I have zero, I'll go get me some Matt Breida. Matt Breida is going to be amazing. No, I can't do that either.
I can't either.
I mean, even against the Eagles, right? The Eagles aren't a great running team.
I got questions about that. And I was like, no, I'm not. With all of the injuries that we have, I feel like you can go a better direction than Matt Breida.
Oh, yeah. And Donta Foreman, by the way, he put in a limited practice today. So I actually I like him in this matchup against Seattle.
I do too. Now let me ask you, if you and I wrote this in a video, so maybe I shouldn't lead you. If you were in a deep league and we've got Foreman who is going to play, but a little banged up, would you be open to also playing, given the matchup, Chuba Hubbard?
I mean, I see where you're going with it.
Yeah.
I hate to do the cop-out answer of, well, it depends on who your other options are. But I mean, listen, I'll tell you what, in the the Kings Classic, the one where or even the FSGA. The FSGA, I'm like scrambling to find a bye week replacement for Tyler Algier. That's how grotesque it is over there. In the Kings Classic, I'm using Kenneth Gainwell. We have 6 teams on bye. So yeah, I mean, listen, if you're sitting there and you have nobody there, and I mean nobody, then you can turn around and use them. Let me go to Ronus's rankings here. We'll stick with half point PPR, or you want to go? Let's go full point PPR because he's the pass catching running back.
In theory,
and it's not really. I mean, so The top 25, Ronis has Zonovan Knight at 25. There is no way I would ever in a million years think of starting Chuba Hubbard over
Nah.
Zonovan Knight. So right off the bat there, he's outside that top 25. Fournette, I want Fournette. Cook,
Yeah.
I want Cook. Akers tonight, I'd probably still go with Akers over Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
Mostert, Latavius Murray, Samaje Perine. So if Mixon plays, this is where, this is the area. It's right outside the top 30. Samaje Perine, Kenyon Drake, Michael Carter, Jerick McKinnon, and here he's got Chuba Hubbard at 37. So that's the area. And if I had Deonta Foreman on my roster, I would still throw Chuba Hubbard in there with him and just collect all the backfield work if that's where I was at. And then, listen, you look at some of the other guys like Kyron Williams or Kenneth Gainwell, Mike Boone, DJ Dallas, all that nonsense in that backfield. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely, I would do that. It's kind of funny. I do that, or I've done that a bunch with Zeke and Pollard. I'm like, just put them both in and just let them both run. And I don't care who gets the touchdowns. Just keep touching the ball. That's all I want. Just keep touching the ball.
Exactly. Speaking of DJ Dallas, the Seattle, it couldn't happen with a worse team because we truly don't know what to expect. I mean, I hate to bring up, poor Chris Carson having to retire, but we were led to believe that he was right around the corner from returning multiple times last year. And Pete Carroll has a way of just, vagueness and things that we truly won't. Yeah, we truly are not going to really know what's going to happen. I mean, even looking at the practice reports and saying, well, Travis Homer practiced, but, DJ Dallas didn't. I mean, you can't really jump either way and know for sure. We don't even know for sure about Kenneth Walker. And you would think we would have some kind of definitive answer given the injury, but we truly don't know. So are you leaning any particular direction on this one?
No. This is a dead avoid for me. If it's not Kenneth Walker, I don't want anything to do with the rest of it because, I mean, where are you getting Travis Homer? He's hurt. DJ Dallas, he's hurt. Tony Jones, man, my buddy Chris, who did the Scott Fishbowl for the first time this year, was sitting there with his last pick in the Scott Fishbowl draft, his last pick. And he was like, I don't know who to take. Who should I take? And I was like, well, I mean, let me see. Show me who's available. Where are you at? And he shows me, and it's just horrible. It's horrible. And I was like, listen, dude, if Kamara does get suspended, and you had, Mark Ingram, who's 137 years old, then, maybe Tony Jones has some value. And so he took Tony Jones, and he's like made fun of me routinely every single time that it's Tony Jones. And then he's sitting there watching the game last week, and he's like, there's Tony Jones playing. And he called me up immediately just to troll me on Tony Jones. And, listen, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yes.
So I don't know what to do with that Seattle back there. That's a straight up avoid for me.
Yeah, because we're not going to know until the last minute, unless there's only one running back that's even active. Like you can't really know what to do. Wide receivers is not as bad. It's things that you just kind of got to pay attention to. We've got, Jalen Waddle. That's probably the big one that we want to know. Obviously that's a huge one. Affects Tua, affects Tyreek. We don't really know right now if he's 100% ready to go, but it seems like he's trending towards playing. So I don't think we're super concerned about that one. Cortland Sutton, we are concerned about. He's more than likely not.
We're not concerned at all.
Well, true. We weren't. Sutton. You're right. We're not. Well, no. I'm concerned not because I had any intention of starting him anywhere. If I had drafted him, I did not draft him. But if I had drafted him, it would be. But his absence, though, for Greg Dulcich. who I love.
I know you
and
do.
I do want to point out, like I went and I looked at average points per game and PPR for tight ends. Okay, look, he's a tight end 1 in average points per game. But let me tell you how bad that is for tight ends, because all you need is a solid 10 points, and you're an easy tight end 1. Like, it's not even close. You just need a solid 10 points, and you have outperformed the vast majority of tight ends. If you're not Travis Kelce, there is nothing out there at tight end. It is literally it. So I do care about Cortland Sutton more than likely missing this game because of the way that it does affect my Greg Dulcich in my love to stream him. So yeah, Howard has disappeared from the stream because we are talking Denver Broncos, and I'm trying to hype up Greg Dulcich.
Trying to justify.
So let me go ahead over here and hype up Jerry Jeudy. No.
I was this close today from just tweeting out to everybody. Listen, blanket statement. If you're going to ask me a start-sit question, just leave out anything Denver Bronco related, because that will never be my choice. Never. I mean, listen, I get what we want, what we hope from Dulcich. The problem is, this team is just terrible. I mean, I could find 10 tight ends I'd rather play than Dulcich that people would be like, dude, you're nuts. They'll be like, it's Denver. They're so bad.
Well, let's go away from Denver and go further to the left out there in LA with Mike Williams, who has returned to practice in full. Yay for Mike Williams, but it throws a big wrench in a lot of things because I'm a Josh Palmer girl.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know what we're gonna do here with Mike Williams returning, and now do we trust him?
Well, I think
are we rolling him out?
I think it bumps Palmer down, obviously, but probably not as much as like everybody thinks. I mean,
yeah.
Mike Williams definitely needs to show something. He definitely needs to like really step up and play and be a strong asset here. I mean, he usually is when he's healthy, but a lot of vertical game there. That's where you'll see. I still think though that Herbert is kind of in this nice little groove with Josh Palmer. And I think the return there, I think what it does is it disappears DeAndre Carter. And it diminishes the targets for Gerald Everett.
Yeah, that's what I'm also worried about as well.
Because I think Palmer stays in as the number 3 receiving option for the team. And, listen, him on one side, Williams on the other, and Keenan Allen coming out of the slot. Hot diggity dog.
Beautiful. Just the way it was supposed to be.
Gimme all of that, please. Nom, 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 nom.
That's why Justin Herbert was a top 3 quarterback. Like, that's how it was supposed to be. Let me ask you though, Everett or Dulcich? Mike Williams is back.
You are a cold, cold woman, Tara. You are a cold, cold woman. Back.
You just described the scenario right there.
I did. You know what though? All right, fine. I'll give you Greg Dulcich over Gerald Everett. I'll give you that one there. Only because I mean, I whatever. He'll get more targets probably than Everett. I can't say they'll be quality targets, but
they'll be targets.
You made me do it, Tara. There, you feel good about it. Do you feel good about yourself now?
I do. Damn it. Just this one time. Just this one time. Other wide receivers that will be affecting tight ends? No. Other wide receivers that just things to touch on. Obviously, we got a couple concussion things with Treylon Burks, Jacoby Myers as well, placed in concussion protocol. That is not good. Ugh. And then some other stuff that isn't super concerning for us. So there's some streaming options with Nico Collins and Brandon Cooks. Other than that, there's not anything massive going on. Are you ready to jump into Discord?
Yeah, let's do it. We got a little Q&A action going on. Let's bring it.
All right.
Oh,
let's see.
Look at Lentil. Like Lentil's like she's the
Right
first
off the
one
bat.
in line for concert tickets too.
I
Like
love it.
Lentil, I bet you Lentil has tickets to Taylor Swift. Look at her, 2:30 in the afternoon, my time. Popping in the first question there. I hope she's
She
got
was
Taylor
on it.
Swift tickets.
I hope so too.
That new album slaps.
Question. Yes. It slaps. I'm glad I got to experience you and Shan, and now I understand your Gen Z language now. I get my Gen Z language from TikTok. I'm super. I mean, like I'm a millennial, but I consider myself like well, I'm not a young millennial. I'm like smack dab in the millennial, but I got the Gen Z language here. I can be cool. I'm a cool mom.
You're borderline Gen Z millennial?
No, I'm pretty separated from Gen Z.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the 80s. I'm an 80s baby, so
Oh.
I'm super millennial.
Okay. No. Well, you know what? Listen. I don't even need to go off about it again. The work that you put in, the stuff that you do is absolutely amazing. So, yes, I will not stand for any anti-millennial rant for now while I'm talking to you. Behind your back, it's a totally different story when I'm yelling at other millennials.
I'm the best of millennials, so I mean, we know. Oh man. Jumping into the Discord from Lentil. Happy Thursday, gurus. Need a running back and flex. ETN, Walker, Damian Pierce, Pickens, Burks. Was thinking ETN and Pierce, but if the Cowboys go up big on Houston, not sure Pierce can get much work. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So ETN definitely is the running back. I mean, it's not the greatest of matchups for him against Tennessee's run defense, but I mean, out of these guys, him and Walker are the two who I am most interested in. Now, if Walker is out and Walker is not playing, then I don't know if Treylon Burks is going to even play this week.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to trust Pickens. Here's the thing. Houston might, they're going back to Davis Mills. I know Brandon Cooks might, is likely to be out. Nico Collins might be out. There are no offensive weapons. There are none. So, like, why wouldn't they just kind of utilize Damian Pierce and just keep running the ball over and over again? There's not a lot of upside to it, but I mean, a garbage time touchdown, just steady carries against a run defense that, hey, listen, you run it up the middle against Dallas. That's how you do it. Yeah.
I'm with you on ETN. He's got the pass catching upside, so I'm not super worried about him against Tennessee. But I don't mind Pickens because there is no way that the target share for Deontay Johnson was 40% last week. There is 0% chance that happens again. I think they're gonna go back, throw some more at Pickens, and when he at least gets, he doesn't need a ton of targets. He's super productive with them in terms of the yardage that he gets and touchdown opportunities. So I just need to see 5 for him. That would be a big improvement on last week. And, and I think he can be productive. I wish Burks was playing. I would say 100% Burks, but Pickens, yeah.
All right.
And Walker, obviously, but I don't have any faith that he's going to play.
All right, you don't have to be mean and rub it in like that.
Well, no, because that's my bitterness too, because I was reaping the benefits of Walker. So wrong time, man. Wrong, like right before the play. Take this week off, Kenneth Walker, and get healthy for the playoffs, because everybody needs you.
Go take a nap.
Yeah, like take this one off. We don't need you this week. I need you in the playoffs. Okay. Question from Skinny McKinney. 1 point PPR, need 2. ETN, Latavius Murray, Najee Harris. Go Tigers. Yes. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. What do I
So let's go Tigers. So ETN, right?
So ETN 100%. I mean, I have to go Najee here, right? I can't go back on what I just said and say forget any Broncos.
That's true. You faded all the Broncos.
Latavius
Murray is a workhorse running back.
What's that?
Latavius Murray is a workhorse running back.
You like him over Najee?
I'm not going to use him. No. But I just wanted to point it out. No, we're going Najee.
On the off chance that Latavius Murray's mom is watching, Tara wants to say he's still, he's a workhorse running back.
He's still got it. And he'll probably be one next year, Once this man joins your team, watch out. Things are happening.
Right, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Another question from Lentil. On a different note, I need a running back, wide receiver, and 2 flex. I have it as White, Juju, Gallup, Judy with Fournette on the bench. Do I swap in Fournette for anyone and start both Tampa Bay running backs? I'm thinking no, because it's San Francisco, and I'm seeing Lenny on the injury report. Homer and DJ Dallas available. Oof.
No.
Or I could drop my Eckler handcuff, Josh Kelly.
No, I mean, I feel like she's got it right here. White, Juju, Gallup. Listen, I hate Judy, but if it's a PPR format, we'll catch a couple of passes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe he gets you, 4 for 52, and you get 9 points out of him. Maybe that'll kind of be it. But I mean, I don't know. I don't like this is one of those situations where I don't want to use both running backs in White and Fournette. I don't think.
Oh man,
you do.
I do.
I love this. I
do. So, and because I don't mind it because it's a bad matchup for sure.
Does Judy?
But they're both getting peppered with targets. It's not Judy, it's Gallup. Because the way I see this game going, I got a bad feeling this is going to be a rinse and repeat of Miami and Houston, and we just might not see the pass game really utilized in the second half if they jump up early. And when you've got Zeke and Tony Pollard against Houston, do the right thing. Like the right thing is to just run the ball constantly on them. I mean, it's a no-brainer, and I can't imagine that even Mike McCarthy is not going to be able to to roll with that concept.
Hold on a second here, Tara. I'm getting a call. Hello? Oh, hi. Kevin Stefanski. Yes, you want to talk to Tara. What's that? Strategy against Houston? Pass the ball, throw it at your receiver's ankles over and over and over again? Okay, great. What's that? What? Well, give the best running back in the NFL 8 carries in the first half against Houston. That's the recipe for success. Okay, great. Thank you so much. You have a great night, Mr. Stefanski. Bye-bye. Hi, Tara.
Did you tell
sorry.
him not to call McCarthy?
What's that?
Did you tell him not to call McCarthy?
Well, that's why he had to get off the phone. He was like, I got to go call Mike.
No. Oh, no. Oh, man. No, he's not going to pull a Stefanski. He's going to do the right thing. And we're just going to see a ridiculous amount of. I mean, is there there any tandem in the NFL that you're more comfortable with starting and saying, I'm rolling out with Zeke and Pollard? I'm in. I'm good with it. So, yeah.
I would have been fine with it if it were Chubb and Kareem Hunt last week.
Right? Yes, I agree. So, yeah, I got a bad feeling that we're not going to get those touchdown opportunities for Gallup. So it's Gallup that I would be willing to sit for Fournette because I believe that White and Fournette both have, it's the pass catching upside. We're getting a solid 50 out of Tom Brady. You know Tom.
Oh, Tom.
You know him. We're getting a solid 50. He is chucking the ball this season. He is not stopping. Suspect play at wide receiver is not going to hold him back. He is going all in.
Oh,
love you, Tom. Another question from Skinny McKinney. 1 point PPR. Mac Hollins or Demarcus Robinson? Timely.
It is timely. I love the work that Demarcus Robinson is getting. I definitely do. But I still think, he's the number one there. But I just don't know if I can trust Huntley to get him the ball. I know Matt Collins. Now, do we see if Matt Collins has the braids in tonight?
Oh, that's true. We need to see.
Like, we're gonna have to watch pregame warm-ups because if Max got the braids in, I'm a little concerned. No, I would start Matt Collins over Demarcus Robinson this week. I would.
I agree.
I would. I feel like they'll have a little fun. They'll get some good He'll get some good points. I don't really know if the Ravens are even going to score a touchdown off the Steelers.
Yeah. I'm mildly in on just it's purely the rushing upside for Huntley. It's not that I think he's going to pass for anything spectacular, so I don't feel like yeah. And we saw that Andrews was the one that benefited the most off of him last year. So maybe this is a nice bounce back opportunity for Andrews. I'm out on the wide receivers, sadly, because I wanted to be in on DeMarcus Robinson. I wanted to. Question from Roddy. Hey peeps, PPR. Need 2 running backs and a flex. Godwin, Swift, Jamal Williams. Damian Pierce, Donta Foreman, or Jeff Wilson.
2 running backs and a flex from this.
Oof. You got to flex Godwin, right? So right there off the bat.
Yeah. Yep.
We know where go. Okay, so we're going with 2 running backs.
So the question is which Detroit running back do you use? Do you go with the pass catching and Swift, or do you go with Jamal, who you know is going to get those goal line touches?
Yeah, I'm going with Swift. I don't think the goal line touches are going to change. Like when I saw that 1 touchdown from Swift, it was literally just because they ran hurry up and did not switch personnel. If they had any time to switch personnel and weren't trying to rush it, I guarantee they would have pulled in Jamal Williams. But the yardage just isn't there. So if you get your 1 touchdown and your 40 yards, like, okay, congrats on the 10 points. I think the upside is still with Swift. I don't know if we're going to get a multi-touchdown game from Williams. So I lean towards Swift.
All right. So Godwin, Swift, and then Foreman, if he's healthy.
Yeah. That's it.
Foreman if he's healthy. And if Foreman isn't healthy or for some rando reason, I'd go Jeff Wilson on the Sunday night game.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Agree.
All right.
Question from Caliber Reigns in caps, in partial caps. All are available. Raiders, Cardinals, or Bengals defense.
Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what. I actually like the Cardinals defense on Monday night, even though, it's New England, but I mean, it's New England. So are we that's in on Mac Jones? But how about this? This is what's even better for me, because Arizona, then it's the Patriots, then they get the Broncos next week, then they got the Buccaneers, then they got the Falcons. And so that's the Falcons game is week 17. So, I mean, these are some really favorable matchups against teams that do turn over the ball. I kind of like grabbing the Cardinals and just riding them for the rest of the way.
I don't mind that at all.
See? Howard knows what he's talking about sometimes.
I am okay with that.
I'm not just here because I'm a pretty face, people. I'm not just here because I'm gorgeous.
He is an expert, and we don't question anything. He's our guru. Next question from Winter Ale. PPR, tight end. Higbee tonight or Conklin?
I think I'd actually go Higbee tonight.
Same.
Yeah. I mean,
no argument there.
Kind of talked about it earlier in the show. It's a good matchup for Higbee. If Wolford or Baker or Bryce Perkins, you're going to end up leaning on the tight end a little bit more there. So I don't think he's going to be tethered to the line to block because they really don't care. So yeah, Higbee.
Question from Roddy. First one is Slayton or Higbee flex PPR.
I would actually go with Slayton. Over the last 6 or 7 games, Slayton has had no fewer than 58 receiving yards.
He's been very consistent.
Very consistent. Like good, solid floor. I feel comfortable having him. I mean, it's a tough matchup against the Eagles, no doubt about it, but they're going to have to throw. And Darius Slay doesn't shadow really anymore. I mean, he'll be on that side of the field. They'll move Slayton around. So I would go Slayton here instead of Higbee. Yeah,
I'm okay with that. And then second question, Singletary or Jeff Wilson have PPR. This one is interesting.
Ooh. I'm going to go with Wilson. Again, I think that, we're seeing James Cook starting to eat into Singletary's workload. So shared backfield on a team that doesn't really like to hand the ball off to the running backs very much. It's a nice matchup against the Jets, although it's a tougher matchup against the Jets. Meanwhile, you got Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert who need a major redemption game going up against the Chargers. And the Chargers are the worst run defense in the NFL. They're terrible. So
I agree with you. I will go Wilson.
Wow, did you see that?
I like Singletary.
Did you see this comment in the chat here from Lentil?
Yes, I did.
Wow. Even the poor guy out to dry like that, huh?
A secret Swiftie.
Hey, man. You know what? I don't know. I don't have anywhere to go with that. Lentil. I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to make a confession. I too am a secret Swiftie.
Listen, I've given my wife the best 10 seconds of her life.
One more from Caliber Reigns. Tua or Herbert?
Oh, I'm going Herbert.
Yeah, me too.
Herbert.
The full complement of wide receivers likely available. Yeah, you have to.
You do have to. All right, how about I'll jump over to the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Let's see if we got a couple of questions here. What do we got? DV Win says, thanks Howard and Tera for holding this live stream. Someone dropped Chris Olave in my league. So who would you drop from this list to pick up Olave in full point PPR?
Oof.
Hashtag Knight Rider, Zonovan Knight, Mike Williams, or Treylon Burks?
This one is actually really tough because Knight can be usable for the rest of it, and running backs are hard to let go. And the Jets do want to be a run-heavy team. They want to. But I just hate to let go of Treylon Burks because I believe in his late rookie breakout. I do.
Yeah, I believe in his late rookie breakout as well. I mean, the question is, Olave's got, probably the higher floor between Burks and Olave. Burks definitely has that ceiling. I mean, it's tough. I mean, he's not going to get cleared for concussion protocol this week. So I'm thinking if somebody's willing to drop Olave in this format, even though it's a bye week, right? Yeah. That's why they're doing it. If you drop Burks, you're probably not going to lose him to somebody this week because he's out. He's not going to play. He's going to fall off the radar a little bit. People aren't going to, jump all in. And then maybe next week in waivers, maybe you have somebody else on your team who you can immediately drop to get Treylon Burks. If, let's say somebody gets hurt or something like that. So
yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that one because, in some leagues, people don't really believe in Treylon Burks. It depends on the personality of your league and whether people truly value and believe in Treylon Burks or if they're holding on to that preseason vision of Treylon Burks. So I agree. You've convinced me. That one was tough. I didn't want to let him go, but I agree.
I never want to let him go either. I love Treylon Burks. I really do. But, to be able to acquire a guy like Olave, you're running a risk of losing Burks for good, but you're still giving yourself the option of
still getting Olave,
possibly grabbing him.
I agree. Yes, I agree. All right, we'll go with that one.
All right.
Drop Burks.
Beautiful. Higbee or Okonkwo. I think it's pronounced Okonkwo. Yeah. I apologize to Okonkwo's family for not properly pronouncing it if I'm screwing that up.
I would have pronounced it correctly, but that is only because I looked up the pronunciation literally about 2 hours ago.
And what is it? What is it?
Okonkwo.
Look at me go. Go.
You got it.
Touchdown. Well, would you use him or Higbee?
Higbee. Although I do like, the reason I looked it up is because I do like him as a streaming option as a low-end streaming option this week. The targets have been there. Good matchup. Not the worst option, but Higbee is far safer. So Higbee.
All right. I am in on Higbee as well. Somebody was just asking if we know who's starting for the Rams yet. I don't think so. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Not yet.
I have
We're
no
waiting on the
idea.
war. We got, 45 minutes? So we'll know in 36 minutes.
36
That's my
minutes.
prediction.
Pick one for a running back: Cam Akers, James Cook, the Knight Rider, or Tony Adams Jr.
I'm going with the Knight Rider. I'm not afraid of the matchup. I'm not afraid of it.
You were saying that you were dogging Buffalo's defense yesterday on the Fantasy
I
Alarm
was,
Show.
yeah. I was. It's not the defense that it was to start the year, and that's not their fault. They've been dealing with a lot of stuff. Lost Von Miller, that's tough. But yeah, this is a different defense, unfortunately.
It is definitely a different defense. Yeah. I like it. I like it. All right, let's see. I think James Cook or Adam Thielen. I think I answered this on Twitter today. It couldn't possibly be another person wondering James Cook or Adam Thielen.
Possibly. It's Adam Thielen for me.
That's what I said. You tell him why. Man who
I
doesn't
like
trust
the
me.
matchup. I think obviously the tougher coverage is going to go to Jefferson. It can open up opportunities for Thielen. That is the theory right there. Good matchup, open up opportunities given the coverage.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, that wraps up the questions over here on the YouTubes.
Awesome. All right, guys. We got all of our fantasy or our Discord questions covered. Yes, we do. All right, we're on it and we're on time. Perfect. Look at us.
We're so good. We're so
We're on a roll.
good.
Like this should be a regular thing or something. And it is. Because we'll be back here next week again. So make sure that you tune in again and join us for the Thursday night pregame show again in week 15. We'll be back here taking your questions in Discord. Other than that, guys, go enjoy this game. I hope it's a fantastic one. I hope all of your fantasy teams get off to an excellent start and you all qualify for the playoffs. You can come back here and ask us your playoff questions next week. We will see you then. For Howard, I am Tara. Good luck, everyone, and have a fantastic evening.